I was 6 years old when I first noticed that my grandfather woke before the world did. Every morning, before the roosters crowed, before the compound stirred, before even the sun had painted the sky with light, he would rise. I would hear his quiet footsteps, the soft creak of the door, and then silence. One morning, curiosity pulled me from my mat. I followed him outside, careful not to make a sound. There he stood, at the edge of the compound, facing east. His arms were open, his head tilted upward, his lips moving in whispers I could not hear. And as I watched, the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, golden, gentle, touching his face like a blessing. When he finally turned and saw me standing there, he did not scold me. He simply smiled and said, "Come, stand with me."
Come, stand with me.
Yes, grandfather.
In many African cultures, elders pray facing the sunrise, not because they worship the sun, but because they understand something about beginnings, about renewal, about the sacred moment when darkness gives way to light. And our elders had very good reasons for this. Come closer, let me tell you why. This practice, praying at sunrise, facing the east, is not unique to one tribe or one nation. It is found across the African continent, from the Maasai in Kenya to the Yoruba in Nigeria, from the Zulu in South Africa to the Akan in Ghana, from the Amhara in Ethiopia to the Berber in North Africa. Everywhere, in homes where tradition still breathes, you will find elders rising before dawn, not because they cannot sleep, but because they know that the moments just before and just after sunrise are sacred. In traditional African spirituality, the East is the direction of beginnings. It is where the sun is born each day. It is where light defeats darkness. It is where hope returns after the long night. Our elders understood that prayer is not just words spoken into the air. Prayer is about positioning, about alignment, about standing in the right place at the right time, facing the right direction so that your spirit can receive what the universe is offering. And at sunrise, when the world is waking, when the air is fresh, when the spirits of the night are retreating and the ancestors are drawing near, that is when prayer has the most power. This was not superstition. This was observation. This was wisdom gathered over thousands of years, passed down from elder to child, protected and honored. Now let me tell you why our elders pray facing the sunrise. There are 3 reasons woven together like threads in cloth: spiritual, cultural, and practical. First, the spiritual reason. In African spirituality, the sun is not worshipped as a god in itself, but it is respected as a symbol of divine presence. It is the eye of the Creator. It is the giver of life. Without it, nothing grows. Without it, there is only cold and darkness. Our elders taught us that when the sun rises, it is not just a physical event, it is a spiritual renewal. Each dawn is a resurrection. Each morning is proof that no matter how dark the night was, light returns. When you pray facing the sunrise, you are aligning yourself with this energy of renewal. You are saying to the Creator, to the ancestors, to the universe, I am ready to receive this new day. I am grateful for another beginning. I am open to the blessings that light brings. The East is also the direction of the ancestors. In many African traditions, we believe that when people die, their spirits travel east, toward the rising sun, toward the realm of the eternal. So when you face east to pray, you are also facing your ancestors. You are acknowledging them. You are inviting their guidance and protection. There is also this understanding. The moments just before sunrise are the quietest, the most still. The noise of the day has not yet begun. The distractions have not yet arrived. In that sacred silence, your prayers can travel further. Your spirit can hear more clearly. The connection between you and the divine is unobstructed. Second, the cultural reason. Beyond the spiritual, praying at sunrise also carries cultural significance. It teaches discipline and gratitude. In African culture, to wake before the sun is to show respect. It is to say, I do not take this day for granted. I do not wait for the day to find me. I rise to meet it. Elders who pray at sunrise are modeling this discipline for the younger generation. They are showing children and grandchildren that nothing of value comes without effort, without intention, without sacrifice. It is easy to pray when it is convenient, but to wake when your body wants to sleep, to stand in the cold morning air, to speak gratitude before you have eaten, that is discipline. That is commitment. That is faith. That does not depend on comfort. This practice also reinforces the community's connection to natural rhythms. We are not separate from creation. We are part of it. When we wake with the sun, we are living in harmony with the world, not against it. Third, the practical reason. And then there is the practical side, the side rooted in survival and well-being. Our elders observed that praying at sunrise, standing outside, breathing the fresh morning air, greeting the day with gratitude, brought health and clarity. The morning air is clean, cool, full of oxygen. Standing in it, breathing deeply while you pray, strengthens the lungs, clears the mind, prepares the body for the work ahead. Facing east also means you see the sunrise. You allow your eyes to adjust to light naturally. This signals to your body that it is time to wake, time to be alert, time to move from rest to activity. Our elders also knew that starting the day with prayer, before the chaos, before the demands, before the stress, set the tone for everything that followed. If you begin in peace, you carry peace. If you begin in gratitude, you carry gratitude. There is a proverb among many African peoples, spoken in different tongues but carrying the same truth. Enopa a feno, emada no mina ye fe. It means a beautiful morning makes the whole day beautiful. This proverb teaches us about the power of beginnings. How you start something shapes how it unfolds. If you begin your day in chaos, rushing, complaining, the whole day will carry that energy. But if you begin in stillness, in prayer, in gratitude, facing the rising sun, you set a foundation of peace that carries you through whatever comes. Our elders understood this deeply. They knew that the first moments of the day are the most important. That is why they gave those moments to prayer. That is why they faced the sunrise. They were not just greeting the day, they were shaping it. This is the wisdom. Honor the beginning, and the rest will follow. Let me take you back to that morning when I stood with my grandfather, facing the sunrise. He placed his hand on my shoulder and said, "Watch. Do not look away." We stood in silence as the sky transformed. First, darkness, then a hint of gray, then purple, orange, gold, and finally, the sun itself, rising slowly as if being lifted by invisible hands. When the light touched our faces, my grandfather closed his eyes and whispered a prayer. I did not understand all the words, but I understood the feeling. Gratitude, reverence, connection. Afterward, he said to me, "Every morning, the sun returns. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter how dark the night was, the sun comes back."
No matter how dark the night, the sun comes back.
That is the promise.
That is the promise. That is the lesson. And we must be here to witness it, to thank the Creator for it, to align ourselves with it. From that day, I began joining him. Not every morning. I was still a child, and sleep was sweet. But on the mornings I did wake, I would find him there, always in the same spot, always facing east. Other elders in the compound did the same. My grandmother, my great-uncle, even some of the younger adults who were serious about tradition. I remember one morning, a visitor from the city stayed with us. He woke late, after the sun was already high, and when he saw my grandfather outside, he laughed and said, "Old man, why do you torture yourself? Sleep is good. The sun will rise, whether you watch it or not."
Old man, why do you torture yourself? Sleep is good. The sun will rise whether you watch it or not.
My grandfather smiled, not offended, just patient. He said,
Yes, the sun will rise, but if I am not there to receive it, I miss the blessing.
The sun gives light to everyone, but only those who wake to greet it receive it fully. The visitor did not understand, but I did, because I had felt it. There is a difference between waking when the day is already loud and busy, and waking when the world is still quiet and sacred. Now, I know the modern world operates differently. People stay up late, they wake to alarms. They rush through mornings, checking phones, gulping coffee, running out the door. The idea of waking before dawn to pray, facing the sunrise, seems impractical, old-fashioned, maybe even impossible. And I understand. Life has changed. Demands are different. Not everyone can wake before the sun. But here is what I want you to consider. The principle behind this tradition still matters. The principle is this: how you begin matters. What you give your first waking moments to. That is what shapes your day, your mind, your spirit. Many people today wake up and immediately reach for their phones. They fill their minds with news, with messages, with the noise of the world before they have even centered themselves. But our elders knew better. They knew that the first moments of consciousness are precious. That is when your spirit is most open, most receptive. That is when you can set your intention, align your heart, receive clarity. You do not have to pray facing the sunrise to honor this wisdom. But you can create your own practice. You can wake with intention. You can take a few moments of stillness before the chaos begins. You can start your day with gratitude instead of stress. Many modern Africans still wake early to pray, even in cities. Maybe they cannot see the sunrise from their apartment, but they face east in spirit. They honor the tradition in their own way, because traditions do not have to be followed exactly to carry power. What matters is that you understand the spirit of the tradition, the why behind the what, and find a way to honor it in your own life. I still wake before the sun when I can. Not every day. I am human. And rest is also sacred. But when I do, I step outside. I face east, and I remember my grandfather. I remember the way he stood there, solid and sure, greeting each day as if it were a gift. Because it was. Because it is. In a world that moves so fast, that demands so much, that never seems to stop, there is power in pausing. There is power in witnessing the sunrise. There is power in saying, before anything else, thank you. Our elders knew this. They built their lives around this knowing, and because of it, they carried a peace, a strength, a clarity that many of us are searching for today. Maybe that is what we have lost in losing this tradition. Not just a ritual, but a rhythm. Not just a prayer, but a practice of beginning well, of aligning with light, of honoring each new day as the miracle it is. So now, I ask you, did your elders wake to pray at sunrise? Do you remember watching them, wondering why they rose so early? And here is my second question. Have you ever tried it yourself? Have you ever stood facing the east, watching darkness give way to light, and felt something shift inside you? Tell me your story. Tell me your culture. Tell me if you still carry this practice, or if it is something you want to return to. And if this story reminded you of something you have been missing, something you want to bring back into your life, then stay with us. Follow Roots of Africa, where we honor the wisdom of the elders, where we remember the old ways, and where we greet each day with gratitude. May you always wake with purpose. May you always greet the light with gratitude. And may you remember that each sunrise is a promise. The darkness will not last. The light will always return. Until we meet again by the fireside. Go well.